video, I turn my attention to the Redmi Watch 5. This is a timepiece that was launched by Xiaomi earlier in January at CES 2025 in Las Vegas. Now, I'll start with the look and feel. And the Redmi Watch 5 makes a bold statement with its massive 2.07-inch AMOLED display. I mean, you can't miss it. It's really, really big. It's also bright, sharp, and vibrant. And it has a smooth 60 Hz refresh rate and a peak brightness of 1500 nits. The device has ultra-thin bezels which give it a modern, immersive feel, though its size might be overwhelming for small wrists. Still, its clean, unisex look makes it versatile for different styles. Despite the large screen, the device is surprisingly lightweight at just 33.5 grams without the strap, and just 11.3 millimeters thick. The aluminum frame adds a premium touch, while its 5 ATM water resistance means it can handle swimming, showers, and rain without any issues. A key design highlight is the rotating crown. Now, this is not just for looks, it's fully functional for smooth navigation, and you can also press the button. It acts like a pressable button as well. The included silicone strap is comfortable, and the quick release mechanism makes swapping straps an easy job. I actually have to say I prefer the braided strap, which you can see in the video right now, to the one that's included by default in the box, because this one ensures a more snug fit, especially during workouts. Now, the large size of the watch might not suit everyone, but thanks to its slim profile and neutral styling, I think it still works well across different wrist styles and sizes. Now, under the hood, the Redmi Watch 5 comes equipped with all the expected sensors, so no surprises there. You get the heart rate monitor, blood oxygen tracking, an accelerometer, a gyroscope, and an ambient light sensor. The thing also features an AFE chip, which Xiaomi says ensures better heart rate accuracy during both rest and activity. For location tracking, there's a built-in GNSS support, which plays nice with GPS, Galileo, GLONASS, BeiDou, and QZSS. However, this is a single frequency system rather than dual frequency, so that's something to be aware of. Connectivity is handled by Bluetooth 5.3, and in my 2 weeks of testing, the watch paired seamlessly with my phone every single time. There were absolutely no dropouts or connection issues. Battery life is one of the standout features of this watch. The 550 mAh battery delivers up to 24 days of typical use. During my 2-week test, I didn't need to charge it even once, which is impressive given the large AMOLED display, which is usually, the display is most of the time the most power-hungry part of the smartwatch. Of course, more intensive use, like frequent GPS tracking, will drain the battery faster, but it still outperforms many similar devices. The Redmi Watch charges via a standard magnetic dock rather than wireless charging, which is a small trade-off for such long endurance. There's also an optional eSIM variant in some markets, offering standalone connectivity for calls and messages. Of course, this will also impact battery life, reducing it to around 12 days, according to Redmi, with typical use, and even less with heavy standalone use. So how does the Redmi Watch 5 stack up against its siblings, the Watch 5 Lite and Watch 5 Active? Well, Watch 5 stands out with its premium aluminum frame and large AMOLED display, making it great for outdoor visibility. It's also packed with features like a built-in speaker, dual microphones, and music storage. With a larger battery, it also delivers a longer time between charges. The Watch 5 Lite, as the name suggests, is a more lightweight option. It swaps the aluminum for a plastic frame and has a slightly smaller AMOLED display. It also lacks extras like music storage and microphones, although it still covers the essentials, including built-in GPS. The Watch 5 Active takes a rugged approach with a squared-off design. It skips premium features like a speaker and standalone GPS, instead relying on connected GPS from a phone. While slightly heavier, it's built for durability, making it a solid choice for those who want a tough, no-frills smartwatch. It's also worth noting that Redmi Watch 5 is the more expensive option when compared to the other two. Now, what about fitness tracking? Well, the Redmi Watch 5 connects to the Mi Fitness app, the same platform used by Xiaomi wearables. Since Redmi is a sub-brand of Xiaomi, the experience feels familiar if you've used one of the Xiaomi devices before. You get all the basics, step tracking, heart rate, and sleep monitoring, but one thing that is missing is HRV data, so heart rate variability data. The app itself is well designed and easy to use. One of the more enjoyable aspects is the small insights it offers along the way. For example, after hitting 7,000 steps, it casually mentioned that I burned the calories of an ice cream cone. It's a fun motivational touch that makes tracking feel less like a chore. A standout feature is the vitality score, Xiaomi's take on a daily activity tracker. It gives a simple, clear measure of how active you've been, with easy-to-follow targets to help you stay on track. It's not groundbreaking, but it's practical. Sleep tracking, however, is where the app really shines. Instead of just giving you total sleep time, it goes deeper into sleep continuity, scheduling, and even nap tracking. The stats are detailed yet easy to understand, offering a solid overview of sleep patterns. I mean, there's nothing here that feels particularly new, but everything works well, and it's all seamless. I think the biggest miss is the lack of a proper training readiness score with HRV insights, something more wearables are starting to include these days. It's the kind of feature Xiaomi could easily add via a firmware and software update, so here's hoping it arrives in the future. For sports tracking, the Redmi Watch 5 can track over 150 different activities. I tested it out for running, and its built-in GPS, as mentioned, supports multiple satellite systems, and it performed well. It was, while it uses single-band GPS instead of dual-band GPS like high-end Garmin's, it held up surprisingly well. I compared it against the Forerunner 955, and the devices were, well, I compared it on a couple of different runs. For example, on a 10K run through central London's skyscrapers, and it was only 70 meters off from my Garmin as far as GPS tracking. On a 7.5K rainy run, the difference widened to about 150 meters, but that's still solid for a watch at this price. To remind, the Redmi costs about 3 times less than the Garmin. And the good news is that the satellite clock times were consistently fast, matching the Garmin across multiple test runs. Heart rate tracking was equally impressive. However, it's worth noting that this largely depends on the fit. At the outset, I wore the silicone strap that came in the box, and that caused the early spikes in runs. So, like the first minute of the run, there would be a spike. But after I switched to a braided strap, that fixed the issue. I'm assuming it's because the fit around my wrist is much better with that strap. And with that strap on, for example, on the 7.5K run, the average heart rate totally matched the Garmin at 144 beats per minute, while the max readings were only 1 beats per minute apart. And I got similar results on the 10K run. It's worth noting that the Redmi doesn't have the in-depth metrics of premium running watches, but it still delivers. It tracks distance, cadence, VO2 max, training load, recovery time, and more. So that's plenty for most runners looking for reliable data. Of course, you also get some smart features, with Bluetooth calling being the standout. The device's dual microphones and speaker allow for clear calls even in windy conditions. Notifications also work well, though you can't reply to messages from the watch. Haptics feel refined with a linear motor providing distinct vibration patterns. You also get useful tools like Find My Phone, a flashlight, a compass, and music controls. Running on Xiaomi's HyperOS, the whole thing feels simple and functional, though third-party voice calls are not supported. Music storage, built-in music storage is a nice touch, offering some 300 megabytes for playlists. I actually recorded a separate video on how to upload music to the watch. Transfers are done over Bluetooth because there is no Wi-Fi on the watch, so they take a couple of minutes for each song. But this feature is great for workouts. You can pair Bluetooth earphones, for example, or even play directly from the watch's loudspeaker, which is surprisingly loud if you turn up the volume setting. There's no NFC, and while an eSIM model does exist, availability is limited to various regions. So you could say that the Redmi Watch 5 keeps things simple but effective, with Bluetooth calling and music storage adding to its everyday appeal. So what's the bottom line? Well, I think Redmi Watch 5 packs a lot of value for a device that sells for just over $100. Its 2.07-inch AMOLED display is bright and sharp, though its size might not suit smaller wrists. Still, it's lightweight, comfortable, and durable with an aluminum frame and 5 ATM water resistance, making it a great tool for daily wear and swimming. For tracking, it covers all the essentials: accurate GPS, heart rate, and blood oxygen sensors, plus an AFE chip for better heart rate tracking. Another highlight is the battery life, which lasts up to 24 days on a single charge. And there's an optional eSIM variant in some markets for standalone connectivity. The Mi Fitness app is simple yet effective, offering detailed sleep tracking, solid activity stats, and a vitality score to keep you motivated. It lacks HRV data and advanced recovery metrics, but for most users, the insights are going to be more than enough. Sports tracking is reliable with fast GPS lock and a wide range of modes. On the smart side, you get Bluetooth calling, built-in music storage, and handy extras like a flashlight and weather updates. There's no NFC for contactless payments, but the haptics feel great and everything runs smoothly. The Redmi Watch 5 nails the basics while offering enough extras to make it a great deal. Just be prepared for that big screen.